Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we'll be talking about Season 3 of the show, The Legend of Vox Machina. Fun fact, the cast of Critical Role crowdfunded so that they could get this show made the way that they wanted it made. They had a goal of fundraising $750,000 and ended up fundraising $11,385,449. This season came out in 2024 and stars Laura Bailey, Taliesin Jaffe, Ashley Johnson, Matthew Mercer, Liam O'Brien, Marisha Ray, Sam Riegel, and Travis Willingham, and was created by Critical Role Productions, which was founded by all of the voice actors I just listed. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Season 3 of Vox Machina sees the group trying to get more vestiges to stop the Chroma Conclave led by Thordag, whom they learn is trying to create baby dragons. A dragon by the name of Rashad is helping them, and they must decide if they can trust her because they don't understand why she is willing to help. The Legend of Vox Machina is an adult animated fantasy show that is adapted from a campaign from Dungeons & Dragons web series Critical Role. It has similar vibes to Arcane, Castlevania, or Dragon Age Absolution. The Legend of Vox Machina is one of those rare shows that actually gives new seasons every year instead of making you wait multiple years before a new one is released. I love the structure of the 3 seasons. In season 1, we are introduced to the group and see how they fumble to work together and by sheer luck, kill a dragon. In season 2, we see how killing a dragon has caused unwanted attention from other dragons and caused destruction to a city and sees the group going on an adventure to find something to kill these dragons with, also known as vestiges. And season 3 sees the team being forced to speed up their timeline to defeat the Chroma Conclave, and in the process, we are introduced to a new villain. The way that they completed the Chroma Conclave story across the 3 seasons was great, which let us get accustomed to the characters while also progressing the story forward. Season 3 was still able to keep me on the edge of my seat and threw in some surprises that I was not expecting. The voice cast for this show is great, and I love how they were able to keep the voice cast from the web series. Each of the characters is unique, and I feel like the voice actors do such a great job making sure their voice tones match the emotions of the characters based on what they are going through. The voice cast is tied to the characters based on their history of voicing them, and you can tell. The team as a whole struggled in the beginning of the series, and I love how close they have gotten this season and how they still have their own things that they are dealing with individually and some that they are dealing with as a team. As a team, they obviously need to defeat the Chroma Conclave by getting these vestiges, protecting these cities that are being attacked, and helping rebuild the destroyed cities. By this season, they have gotten the hang of each other's strengths and weaknesses and seem to have a better understanding of who can handle what, and if they need to split up, who would be the best for whatever mission. I love seeing them all work together towards a common goal, and even though the missions hardly go their way, they learn to quickly adapt. While they have the main mission, they have side stories that are equally as compelling. Vax is still in service of the Matron of Ravens, which makes him hesitant about starting a relationship with Keyleth, and by the end of the season, he takes a risk and starts that relationship, but he gets infected with something from his run-in with Orthax. Keyleth is trying to do her Aramente, which we see her complete her Earth one, convince the team that Rashad is evil, which she was right about the entire time, and reel in her feelings for Vax after he originally denies her request to explore their feelings for each other, which he later changes his mind about. Percy is still dealing with his past when the person who introduced him to machinery and encouraged his anger, Anna Ripley, pops up and steals a vestige, trying to juggle a relationship with Vex as things get very sexual between them. Oh, and of course, in a heartbreaking scene, he dies, which doesn't last for long because he's resurrected, which we don't know if that will have any side effects. Vex is exploring the sexual side of her relationship with Percy, but because of past trauma she needs to face, she won't start a relationship with him. When she decides to finally start a relationship with him, he gets kidnapped and killed. So she makes it her mission to find Anna Ripley and kill her. Scanlan is trying to figure out how to reconnect with his daughter. He gets hurt really badly in the battle against Thordak and deals with guilt from not being around to help when Percy was getting killed. Pike is trying to figure out if she wants to hold on to her faith and how to use her vestige, and this demon is now after her. Last but certainly not least is Grog, who has a lot on his back, being the comedic relief of the group as well as the muscle. The Chroma Conclave was such a formidable set of foes, and I love how they were slowly able to kill them one by one and the people who aligned with them. Voragol is the ice dragon who is a menace, and after some traitor tells him where Vox Machina is, he comes trying to kill them, and he almost succeeds until he gets into a fight with a giant demon, and while he wins that fight, he is wounded so badly, which Vox Machina uses to their advantage to kill him. Thordak is the leader of the group, and he has plans to hatch his children and pretty much take over the world. In the battle to take out Thordak, he knew that they were coming and what their plan was, which made me so nervous because he was taking out so many of their allies, and they weren't really a match to take him on, but they pulled through and took him and his kids out. I love that Thordak had a plan. He was the most powerful dragon, so he was the leader, and then was by far the hardest to kill because the team needed an army and Rashad's help to do so. Thordak was also voiced by Lance Reddick, who did so well voicing him, and it was sadly another reminder of a great talent that we lost too soon. Rashad was so great as an undercover villain who is voiced by Cree Summer, which shocked me because Cree is also on Abbott Elementary, which I was watching at the same time, and it's very different characters, obviously, which further shows her talent as an actor. Rashad was written so well because she is a dragon whom we are told not to trust, but then she helps the team, and we are like, maybe she is good, but then she betrays the team, and you're like, no, she's bad. And then she tells the team, I did that so Thordak wouldn't suspect me. And you're like, okay, that makes sense. Only for her in the end to, in fact, be a villain. I love how throughout the season, while I was trying to figure out if she could be trusted, I never was able to grasp what she wanted to achieve in defeating Thordak. Because yes, he betrayed her. Like, that makes sense. But she's not so simple where she just wants his death because he betrayed her. We'll later find out that she wants his body so that she can transfer into it because hers is poison, which was just so interesting to see as we learn that Keyleth was, in fact, right. And because of this, we see Keyleth tap into the earth to complete her earth trial and find Rashad, which I think also hinted that her mom may possibly be alive, but I'm not 100% sure. But going back to Rashad, she positioned herself perfectly to walk this very thin line between being trustworthy and untrustworthy and was able to fool most of the team. I love how in the end, the person who takes her out is Keyleth, who never believed that she was there to help anyone but herself. Another thing of note that I'm not sure was mentioned before is that Keyleth talked to the other Ashari, and we find out that the Ashari are the ones who poisoned Rashad, which makes Keyleth the one to see through her facade and take her down in even greater moments. Anna Ripley's storyline was unresolved in prior seasons, but she makes an appearance in this season while gathering vestiges, working with the Chroma Conclave, and killing Percy. She teams up with the demon Orthax, who uses that anger inside people to manipulate them, and he uses her just like he did with Percy. One thing I loved about seeing her was seeing her backstory and how her village was under watch by a group called the Assembly, who attacked her village and killed her dad. The Assembly is a group of mages, and this clip of her backstory seems like it was used to explain why she becomes a villain, but it subtly sets up a future potential villain. In the final moments of the season, we see what I believe to be is the Assembly doing something which teases that they will be the next big thing the group will have to face. I love how they teased them in a scene that you would remember and made sure to revisit that. There's also the demon from hell, but this one stood out more as a potential main villain, and I think that they'll slowly build the demon storyline alongside it. The action scenes in this show deserve a shout out because they are awesome. Everyone has a special skill and a weapon of choice, and it's just so interesting and cool to see how they will utilize it to work together. Over the seasons, they have learned so much individually and as a group, so it's cool to see this come into play when they team up together to take down their foe. At the end of the season, the team goes their separate ways, and even though it is sad, it was nice to see because there are so many other things they need to complete that they have put on hold so that they can defeat these dragons. One thing about this pause in teamwork is that they're doing this because they are under the impression that they completed their mission, which they did, but they fail to realize when one villain falls, another rises to take their place. So I'm interested to see what will bring them together and what will be needed to take out this new group. My favorite part of this season was them taking out not one, not two, but 3.5 dragons. It was such a difference from them taking out one by luck in season one. In season two, they took out one more powerful dragon, but fared way worse than the last time. And even though they had some help this time, they were able to take out 3 this season. And it was cool how they took out each one. With Riegel, Vex shot an arrow that turned into a plant around his heart after he was wounded. After Pike redirected Thordak's fire to destroy the crystal that amplified his powers, we see Vax deliver the final blow. And last, but certainly not least, Keyleth destroys Rashad in her own body, and then Thordax in an impressive fight that showed how powerful Keyleth really is, which also was validation for me because Keyleth is my favorite character. I was just in awe of all of the battles and how it wasn't easy to take down these dragons, but Vox Machina prevailed. The Legend of Vox Machina not only pumps out seasons every year, but it also pumps out some really solid seasons. The cast, the story, and the animation are all great and have me wanting even more. The one complaint is that Amazon releases are so different and they're not clear on if it's once a week, 3-episode premiere, then once a week, or 3 episodes a week, which makes it hard to keep up if you're not actively searching for that info. I do hope that it gets renewed because I need to see what else happens with this team and how they will overcome it. And I want to see if they get stronger. Thank you for watching my video. I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, please do so you can keep up to date with more of my videos. But besides that, everyone stay safe, have fun, and goodbye.